This one's an absolute belter. This is the crooked billet.
It's a rather large menu, however I am here for the 3-course Yorkshire Pudding Challenge. And it's only 30 quid each. It's rather cosy inside and there's some nice circular walks as well surrounding the pub. Blimey, the starter came out quick and of course, it's Yorkshire pudding in rich thick gravy. Being a Yorkshireman myself, nothing beats a proper homemade Yorkshire pudding. I love that great crunch sound that you get when you first cut into it. I'm also trying to be careful and not cause the gravy to splash, because the last thing I want is gravy down my top. I've had so many people recommend this place and I can see why. This Yorkshire pudding is nice and crispy at the top, and it's nice and soft at the bottom. The gravy is also nice and rich, and as you know, us Northerners love gravy. Now I must admit, it's a very simple starter, but there is something good about having a Yorkshire pudding and gravy dish. But now it's time to show you the main event, and here it is. Now this is one giant Yorkshire pudding, but this is filled with more than just gravy. We've got sliced beef and sliced turkey with mashed potato and swede underneath. I am not exaggerating here, this must weigh close to 1 kilogram. I daren't lift it up any higher because knowing my luck, it'll spill, and then I've got a disaster on my hands along with a lot of gravy. Well, I must say, this smells amazing. That beef looks really tender, and once I've moved all that beef out of the way, underneath it's the turkey. Now, most places actually roast turkey, but here they actually steam it, which I'd prefer because it means it won't be as dry, I hope. And moving that meat back out of the way, there is the mashed potato and the swede. Now, if you follow me on Facebook, Instagram or TikTok, you'll be used to me starting with the meat first, but here I decided to start with the mash. As you can see, it's still piping hot. I'm not surprised as all the heat was trapped underneath all that meat. And wow, that is great buttery mash. I like mash, but I can easily miss it off my Sunday roast. But we've all got things that we can miss off our Sunday roasts. What's yours? Write it in the comments. Now it's time for me to try the swede. I wish I saw this video first before putting all that in my mouth because that was beyond hot. Even me blowing it to cool it down didn't work. But at this point, it was too late. It was at that point now I didn't know whether to spit it out, reach for my drink, or just brave it through for the video. But I decided to brave it through. Maybe not my best decision. I think after that, it's time for a really quick hydration break. I'm not one to drink a pint with my food either. I don't know why. I just never have been. Hydration break over? Yes, my mouth's still on fire, and I can feel the tears in my eyes. But I've got a food review to finish. And now we move on to the meat. The beef, as expected, was tender and juicy. That is a very, very good quality beef too, I might add. It just melts in my mouth, but that's probably because my mouth's still on fire after all that swede. But joking aside, that is great beef. Even around the edges, there's next to no fatty bits. You do get a generous portion of meat as well, which, let's be fair, on a food challenge is expected. Now it's time to cut open this Yorkshire pudding. To be fair, I thought it would be more difficult to cut than what it was. As a proud Yorkshireman, I'm very happy with how that looks. But does it taste as good? Let's find out. Once again, the top of the Yorkshire pudding looks nice and crispy, but the bottom also looks soft. Now, for a Yorkshire pudding to be that big and taste as perfect as it is a real big credit to the chef. I must say I'm also glad there's no time limit to this challenge though, because we're 3 minutes into the video already, and as it looks, I'm going to be locking up here tonight with the staff if I don't get a move on.
A few moments later.
I take my hat off to people like Beard Meats Food and all the other creators or you viewers who can demolish food challenges. For me, eating half of this is quite an achievement. I've enjoyed it nonetheless and probably did not approach it like a food challenge. This is the first video I've filmed where I've attempted a food challenge, albeit quite poorly, let's be honest. But in times where cost of living is important, there's no reason why 2 people can't share it. Now that would be great value for money. I'm at that stage where I'm admitting defeat. I am stuffed. They've also got a Yorkshire Pudding Wall of Fame, which they share across their social media channels, but I won't be on there. And they've just brought me my dessert. I forgot about that. And I know what you're thinking. Why in God's earth have I got a Yorkshire Pudding with ice cream, cream and toffee sauce? I've eaten some stuff in my time, but this is a combination I've never had before. I don't think I dare tuck in. I think the best thing to do is work around it, so I'm going to try the butterscotch toffee sauce first. And what a good choice that was. That is absolutely delicious. And I tell this something that's the last thing I expected to say. I think you can all tell that I'm still struggling from my starter and my main. Once again, I'm so glad there's not a time limit on this challenge. You're not going to believe this, but there's actually something about vanilla ice cream and Yorkshire pudding that just works. You get a lot of ice cream and all. That is absolutely full to the brim, is that Yorkshire pud. As a matter of fact, there's that much ice cream, it actually makes the Yorkshire pudding look quite small. As great as this is, I'm actually really struggling now. I love the taste of that bit of warmth from that Yorkshire pudding and the ice-cold ice cream. As we can all now definitely confirm, I really suck at food challenges. But on this occasion, I'm going to say it's the taking part that counts. In all honesty, I actually think it's amazing value for money. a starter, a main and a dessert for 30 quid. And let's be fair, you could share it between two of you. If that's the case, it's 15 quid each. You can't even go to Toby Carvery and get a 3-course for that. And credit to the chef because the starter, main and dessert were amazing. And finally, I appreciate you all for watching this video. If you feel like you could complete the challenge, give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe.